Hi, everyone. Welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday. And as always, going to start with my pick of the week. If you're new here, hi, welcome. This is a channel where we talk about some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that have come out today, Friday, or within the last few weeks, give or take. Okay, so it tends to sometimes get loaded and very long. And if you would like, look at the list down below in the comments section. It's alphabetical, and we kind of go in that direction. And there's prices there for you. Now there's also that little wheel on the bar below that you can click on that, and then you can speed through. You can speed up the video. So up to you. If you want to skip around and not stay for the whole thing, that's completely fine. I totally get it. But anyway, it gives you some idea of what kind of sequence we're going in. All right, so let's get started. It's the pick of the week for me this week is this various artists, and it is Southeast of Saturn. This is volume 2. It's on Third Man Records, and this is a compilation. It's a follow-up to 2020's Southeast of Saturn, a collection of from Detroit's space rock shoegaze dream pop scene from the 90s. Okay, so this second volume expands upon that Michigan-centric that was purveyed on volume 1, and this is including groups that throughout the Midwest, from places like highlighting and spanning Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So on volume 2, it's really there to cement the Midwest's status as a breeding ground for the space rock and shoegaze subgenres that were really burgeoning in the UK at the time. Now you'll hear on here that influences from like Ride and Spaceman 3 and My Bloody Valentine, stuff like that. If you like that, you're going to really enjoy this, because you can see how this is kind of the influenced by that, and for these bands in the Midwest, and how what a great scene that was too. So this is an exclusive limited edition copies of this on full moon and Great Lake colored vinyl, whatever that means. I'm assuming it's some kind of blue. Okay, yeah, it's not really showing us anything. I mean, some of this writing is in this kind of blue. It could be that, I'm not sure. Anyway, those are for the indie exclusives for the independent record stores. Now, there are no big names or crossover artists on this. However, those who know that, like, digging deep and into the real and virtual record bins, it usually yields the greatest rewards. So this 18-track compendium here is going to trigger, it's got some real swoon-worthy stuff on here. And anyway, Third Man, they've gone ahead and scoured the Midwestern underground, highlighting the acts of the 90s, so now you don't have to. But this is totally worth it. It's 2 LPs, and it's a great thing. So that's my pick for you this week. Okay, now we got a lot to get through, so let's get started. And first up, this is a reissue, 2-pack, All Eyes on Me on Death Row, and this is the 4 LP 2001 reissue on a repress here. Fresh out of the slammer, eager to prove himself on Suge Knight's Death Row Records, 2-pack created the most ambitious album in rap history up to that point. And it was the very first double album in rap, and it was critical and popular success, shooting all the way up to #1 on the Billboard Top 200 album chart. So all the biggest players on the West Coast are kind of represented on this album. You've got Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Method Man, Nate Dogg, Redman, the Dog Pound, and even George Clinton makes an appearance on here. So it had the singles How Do You Want It and California Love. Each one of those hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart. Rolling Stone magazine considers it one of the most influential albums of the 1990s. It's on vinyl. This album is spread. It's a double, but when they repressed it, they've spread it over 4 LPs. Okay, so it's on Death Row Records, and that's a hefty one. Okay, next up, this is Amorphous, Far From the Sun on Atomic Fire. This was originally released in 2003. Far From the Sun has been sold out for many years. It's finally available in its original version, again on marble vinyl. This was the last full-length release featuring the band's previous singer, Passy Koskinen and marked the end of an era in the amorphous 30-year-long band history. Far From the Sun showed the band's psychedelic rock side and charted on number 7 in their home country of Finland back in 2003. So this is on white and purple marbled vinyl, and it's a limited edition of 500 copies. Okay, then we have Christmas records. Backstreet Boys, a very Backstreet Christmas on BMG Rights Management. 30 years in the making. Backstreet Boys are back with their first ever holiday album. 30 years in the making. It took them 30 years to record 12 songs or 13 songs. Well, okay. Anyway, features 13 tracks, including classics like I'll Be Home for Christmas, Last Christmas, Silent Night, Winter Wonderland, and new future holiday mainstays like Christmas in New York, Together, and Happy Days. Okay, if you say so. All right, next up, this is the Beach Boys, Sail on Sailor, 1972, 3 LPs. This is on Capitol. It celebrates the landmark 1972 albums, Carl and the Passions and Holland. And this 2 LPs or 3 LPs? Oh, it's 2 LPs and a 7-inch. That's why they're saying 3. Okay. But it includes extensive liner notes and the original Mount Vernon and Fairway 7-inch EP from Holland, unavailable since the 1970s. So both albums are fully remastered. That's Carl and the Passions and Holland. That's what you get here. But if that's not enough for you, you can also get this in the Super Deluxe 5 LP box set. Okay, this one, I've got my props here falling down again. I hate when that happens. Okay, Super 5 LP box set features the original albums fully remastered, as well as a previously unreleased 1972 concert from Carnegie Hall and 4 previously unreleased bonus tracks. Also included is the original Mount Vernon and Fairway 7-inch EP from the Holland, and it's, again, unavailable since the 1970s. 48-page book with extensive liner notes, rare photos, and more. Okay, I noticed there's a lot of box sets coming out. Last week, of course, we had the great Tom Petty box. Now, I've lost my... I use these to prop up the vinyl so it doesn't fall over, and sometimes it pushes its way, and that's the noise you heard before. Okay, next up is Solomon Burke, Don't Give Up on Me. This is on the Anti-Records label. God damn it. You know, if that fell over, that'd be really disastrous. And I mean, what do I have to do? Put a cinder block up here? Jesus. All right. Studio album, R&B soul singer Solomon Burke, recorded and released in 2002. The album won the Grammy Award for the Best Contemporary Blues Album. It's noteworthy for the contributions of original and previously unreleased compositions by top-ranked songwriters, the effect of which placed Solomon Burke back in the public eye for a time. Guest stars are Daniel Lanois, who plays electric guitar on Stepchild, and the Blind Boys of Alabama, who feature on backing vocals for None of Us Are Free. So this is newly remastered for a double LP. It includes the bonus track, I Need a Holiday, and it is on black, or the indie exclusive is on red vinyl, and that will be noted on the sticker. I think it's like this one here will tell you that it's on the red vinyl. So you gotta look carefully if that's what you're after, okay? All right, next up is a reissue. This is Cavetown, self-titled, and it's through Many Hats distribution. This is Robin Daniel Skinner. He's known professionally as Cavetown. He's an English singer-songwriter, record producer, and YouTuber. His style blends elements of indie rock and bedroom pop with mellow, gentle ukulele ballads. So this is the 4th vinyl pressing, limited to 3,500 units on Canary vinyl. And another reissue, also Cavetown. This one is 16/4/16, also through Many Hats distribution. So anyway, this guy was the son of a flautist at Cambridge University. His father is a director of music, Robin Skinner, who's, that was his father. The guy who goes under the name of Cavetown, like I said, is Robin Skinner. He has a musical talent that's, kind of embedded in his DNA. Since the age of 14, he started posting original songs and covers on YouTube. This is also the fourth vinyl pressing of this, and it's limited to 3,500 units. This one's on tangerine vinyl. He's got a huge fan base, this kid. If you haven't heard of him or don't know of him, you know, a lot of people follow him and stream him all the time. All right, this is the Chipmunks' greatest hits. It's through Curb Records. This is a nice starter to get your kids into the Chipmunks if they want that. This is the classic group that was created by Ross Begdasarian, who was the guy who's the creator of the Chipmunks. Okay, so a lot of the older albums that he did are no longer in print. They're going for super high prices on selling sites. This album features songs from some of the older records. That includes like things like Whistle While You Work, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and the Alvin Twist. Now, it's up to you if you want to get your kid into this. Even I, as a kid, I remember I didn't like them that much, but, you know, a lot of kids really love it. The only thing I think you want to be grateful that it's vinyl, because I don't think you want to be with that in an enclosed place like a car with your kids and that going on, because that could be a little bit of a nightmare. So this way, vinyl, put it on, leave the room, you'll be all right. Unless of course you're into it, then enjoy. Okay, next up, this is Creed, My Own Prison, on Craft Recordings. This is available for the first time on vinyl. In celebration of the 25th anniversary. So this is the debut album from the hard rock titans Creed, first released in 1997. It's the album that began the band's rapid ascent to becoming one of the biggest selling artists of the time, featuring 4 Billboard Hot mainstream rock #1 singles, My Own Prison, Torn, What's This Life For, and One. All right, so finally available on vinyl. This is Sammy Davis Jr. Greatest Songs. This is on the Curb label. So some of Sammy Davis Jr.'s best known songs are here. Kind of includes the sappy Candyman is on here, but Mike Curb's production values are, you know, well curbed in some respect, as you get to hear Sammy Davis swing a little bit on this. So it had jazz numbers like Bye Bye Blackbird and The Lady is a Tramp that were sung better by Frank Sinatra, but Davis does them really well too. More popish pieces like What Kind of Fool Am I, Mr. Bojangles, and I've Got to Be Me, and Talk to the Animals are readily associated with Sammy D and are included. Slightly better than the similar Curb Best of collection. It's probably still far short of his definitive work, but or his collaborations with the Rat Pack. But again, it's just kind of a Curb, you know, this is just 10 songs of Sammy. All right, this is Destroyer 666, Never Surrender. This is on the Season of Mist label. So these outlaws from Down Under deliver another pummeling and relentless lesson in aggression with the full-length number 666, Never Surrender. Is a furious assault of black thrash, chainsaw riffs, and warlike drums, offering no moment of reprisal as it rages on for 40 unyielding minutes. With this offering, they take no prisoners. It's the first pressing on black vinyl, 2,000 copies worldwide, plus a poster. All right, this is Disharmonic Orchestra, Not to Be Undimensional Conscious. This is on Nuclear Blast. When talking about progressive death metal, the Disharmonic Orchestra from Austria must not go unmentioned. With Not to Be Undimensionally Conscious, the band broke new, more avant-garde ground in 1992 without letting their death metal roots be forgotten. So the individual songs of the album are characterized by a real craziness rarely experienced in this form, but without neglecting the overall concept. All right, with this they succeed in combining avant-garde progressive elements with death metal from their early phase. This is long been out of print and highly regarded in the scene, and it's now being re-released on this limited edition mint-colored vinyl. All right, this is Fried Egg, Dr. Siegel's Fried Egg Shooting Machine on Cosmic Rock. So no matter how many times you listen to Fried Egg's first album here from 1972, you're still going to be scratching your head trying to figure out where even a second of the album hints that the band are from Japan. Not only do they sing in English superbly well, but they draw a lot of influence from British bands like Uriah Heep, Deep Purple, and Black Sabbath. and as well as the pop music from the country of that country, that previous decade. So despite that, the endlessly eclectic album is full of color and energy, and it's hard not to get caught up in the silly diversity of their musical split personality approach. Kind of a cool record. Okay, check them out. This is, whoops. Okay, this is Fred again. We've talked about him before. This is Actual Life, April 14th through December 17th of 2020. It's on Atlantic. So, but this one was the debut solo album from this British producer, Fred Gibson. It was released in April of 2021. It's Actual Life. It's guided by his own story through a year of finding love and mourning its loss. Okay, he turns heartbreak and grief into like this dance floor catharsis. And yeah, we've talked about him before. That's kind of his angle. It's a different sort of thing, but there you go. See, I tell you, I'm going to bring cinder blocks in and just bash it up against the wall. All right, this is Fucked Up. It's Hidden World. It's on Get Better Records. It's the second reissue for Get Better Records, and it's cloaked in shades of unconventional aesthetics, symbolic overtones, and self-proclaimed culture of confusion. This is the band's first full-length studio album. It makes a turning point for the mysterious Toronto band. It transcends the boundaries of punk and with melody, aggression, expansive structures, and kind of a lot of diatribe on what lies underneath the immediate visualized world. It's kind of their thing. Nice artwork there. It's on magenta vinyl. All right. Next up, this is Judy Garland's Greatest Hits on Curb. Now, this is a memorable album. Each track, it kind of will warm your heart, fills it with memories of one of the greatest voices of all time. But my gripe with Curb Records is how they can put a mere 12 tracks onto an LP and then call it Judy Garland's Greatest Hits. Like, these are wonderful songs performed as only Judy can sing them, but how can you take her 45-year career in show business and compress her greatest hits into 12 tracks? It's not right. It's like way too much material has been left out here. And on the other hand, I will say that what you do get is nothing but 5-star music of the very highest order, and the sound quality is pretty good. All right. This is another Christmas album. This is Hanson. Finally, it's Christmas on BMG Rights Management. So this is the second Christmas album by the American pop rock group Hanson. The band wrote and produced the album with Mark Hudson of the Hudson Brothers, if you know who that is, who also collaborated on their first Christmas release, Snowed In. So several of the band's children also make an appearance in some songs, and the album, you know, it's just kind of a joyful, lovely, festive thing to brighten up the season. Okay. All right. Next up is, Last Dinosaurs from Mexico with Love, and this is on the Network label. It's the fourth album. It's a post-lockdown celebration of life. Songs themselves are deeply intimate but brutally honest. Anyway, this Australia-based 5-man band, they come through with another set here of like bubbly indie pop that's very sweet, neo-psychedelic, but it might not make it all that original, but it's just fun while it's on. All right. This is Galsher Lustwerk, 100% Galsher on Ghostly International. So his legendary Blowing Up the Workshop mix is finally given a proper release on this, and still stands as one of the finest deep house documents of the last decade. All syrup-laced grooves, honey-voiced raps, and tight percussion that owes much to 90s rap as it does to vintage house. All right, this one is part of the it's Blue Note, sorry. Yeah, it's part of the Tone Poet series. Blue Mitchell, Bring It Home to Me. Blue Mitchell was a member of Horace Silver's quintet before he began recording his own albums as a leader for Blue Note through the 1960s. So his 1966 album, Bring It Home to Me, is a bluesy and soulful hard bop date featuring the trumpeter with Junior Cook, Harold Mayburn, Gene Taylor, and Billy Higgins. Okay, so this is a Blue Note Tone Poet series. It features all analog remastered 180-gram vinyl in deluxe gatefold packaging. Okay. All right, this one, I'm gonna grab my my tape bolster again because I'm nervous. Okay. So we can get on with it. All right. This one here. All right, you guys, I'm no good with Roman numerals. It's like I'm not a math girl, so I'm just going to say this is MMXX. You know, you can do the math and figure out what they're really called, but it's called Sacred Cargo, and it is on the Spine Farm label. So their new album, Sacred Cargo, it's the sound of a global panic, pandemic isolation, a geographically, culturally, and stylistically diverse collection of celebrated vocalists and musicians layered in their own perspective, culminating in this eclectic compendium of music that reflects an experience that sadly we all understand. Now, they're calling this turquoise vinyl, but it's really more of that translucent kind of teal. You guys remember last week when we were looking at the Ari Lennox, that beautiful ocean blue vinyl? It's the same color as that. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it does come with a poster lyric booklet as well. But yeah, they're calling it turquoise, but I wouldn't say that. All right, this is Mr. Little Jeans, Better Days. It's on Network. So the chorus of Better Days, the hard-won title track from Mr. Little Jeans' long-awaited sophomore record, it plays like a mantra. Monica Burkenis, the musician and songwriter behind Mr. Little Jeans, sings with this stoic conviction alongside this kind of militaristic drum work, and she forges forward towards self-empowerment. It's a record about destiny, about how it fuels our lives and how we shape it, how it shapes us. It's a testament to moving the mountain, okay? So it's an album very defined by virtuosity and spirit, and that's here now for us. All right, then we have Newfound Glory, December here on Hopeless Records with 11 original Christmas songs. Newfound Glory, they present December's Here, a new classic album celebrating pop punk for the holidays, okay? Featuring pop punk, emo holiday anthems, things like Somber Christmas, holiday records, and a holiday version of their fan favorite called It Never Snows in Florida. It's the holiday version, a mix of that. So anyway, they bring holiday cheer and a new take on music for the best time of the year. This is on light pink vinyl. Okay, this is Of Mice and Men. It's called Bloom, and it is on Sharptone Records. Bloom, it's the second EP by the American rock band Of Mice and Men. Damn it. It was released in May of 2021. It's an excellent release, actually, of reaching a kind of heaviness we don't often hear from them. More than just metalcore, Bloom is a chunk of savagery that could turn a lot of people on to this band. A limited edition of 500 on what they're calling black and white pinwheel vinyl. Yeah, they don't have a little clue for what that looks like, but it sounds good. Okay. This is Polaris, The Mortal Coil on Sharptone Records. This is the debut studio album by Australian metalcore band Polaris. Between the technicality, incredible composition, and strong production work, they deliver on all phases that music requires in order to be considered great for the more than the hardcore fans, but the casual ones who are after something just catchy and well crafted. So this is a limited edition of 500 on transparent red vinyl, and it's pretty good. All right, this is Pucifer, Conditions of My Parole on BMG Rights. This is the second studio album by Pucifer. It's a departure from the angst of bands like Tool and the esoteric darkness of bands like A Perfect Circle. This is a synth-heavy album, but it has a more kind of an autumnal feeling about it. It combines layers of electronic ambience and programmed drums with the singer's kind of yearning vocals that creates kind of this cold loneliness kind of atmosphere. Real juxtaposition to the picture on the front. Okay, this is Psychedelic Porn Crumpets Levitation Series. This is through the Reverberation Appreciation Society. We've had a couple of these that we have featured before. This is the Perth-based psychedelic rock and roll machine, and they're ripping through a full platter of their high-speed tunes on here. It's a kaleidoscopic array of crunchy riffs, addictive melodies, and no-holds-barred psychedelia, all on tap to feed your head. Now, this is limited edition colored vinyl. I believe it's like kind of a neon coral color. The sticker just tells you that it's colored vinyl. It doesn't say, but in just trying to look this through online and research it, I think it's the neon coral color, but I can't say for sure. All right, this is Spangle, Museum of Consciousness on Twisted Records. This is the 5th studio album, originally released in 2013. It holds 7 gems glistening in hyperspace, unmistakably brilliant and radiant and beautiful, in which every composition contains worlds within worlds, as explored by Raja and Simon on their epic voyages into the depths of musical exploration and recounted in these tales. Just says it's remastered. I don't believe that's on colored vinyl of any kind. And if that weren't enough, look at that. That's a double. Here's your triple album. And this is called Codex VI. VI, what's that? Maybe 6 in Roman numerals? All right, it's been 26 incredible years of psychedelic sound surfing with Spangle. And now we arrive at the magical 6th album. It's a visionary volume that's entitled Codex, I'm going to say 6, all right? The cosmic collection of mystical music from Simon and Raja, in which their kind of expertise on hallucination reveals itself once again. Seemingly in an effortless way, they master the interdimensional audio here. We're invited to share the inner secrets of the Codex formula and get direct downloaded of illuminated inspiration. They're saying it will leave you seriously spangled. Okay, so all right. This one is Simple Plan, Harder Than It Looks. Stop it. Ugh. I'm going to start throwing records in a minute, and that would be a really bad thing for the channel. Oh, all right, Simple Plan, Harder Than It Looks on Simple Plan Inc. That's the label. Okay, so this is the 6th studio album by this Canadian rock band, Simple Plan. It's released in May, and their first record in 6 years since the Taking One for the Team, and the first one without bassist David Desrosiers, anyway, after he was bounced for sexual misconduct allegations. The band who have matured, but they haven't grown up, which gives us a perfect blast of nostalgia for, punk pop kids of the O's, the 2000s. And it kind of provides a very upbeat, relatable escape for those who need it. It's on limited edition pink marble vinyl. Okay, this is the Marshall Tucker Band, and it's Ramblin' Records. So celebrating the 50th anniversary of the album that started it all for them, this first album includes Ramblin', Losing You, and the Marshall Tucker Band anthem, Can't You See? They're spared no expense in making the best possible sound recording reissue for this vinyl pressing. The original master tapes were painstakingly restored and beautifully remastered for vinyl using a 100% analog process by one of the most renowned mastering engineers in the world. So this LP brings out the energy and musicianship of the original Marshall Tucker Band, limited pressing on neon canary vinyl for the first time ever. All right, then we have Staves, Dead and Born and Grown. This is the 10th anniversary on None Such. Staves are like 3 sisters, and this is the debut album of theirs, celebrated here in its 10th anniversary on the 12th of November. And to celebrate that, the album here is released on recycled colored vinyl produced with Glenn and Ethan Johns, who have worked on a plethora of artists over the past and the present and between, including like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Vaccines, and Kings of Leon. So this is a special edition recycled vinyl. It's made from 100% PVC recycled material using waste material and clippings from previous record pressings. And the result is that each vinyl is unique with its own color combination, a sublime melting pot of English folk here mixed with effortless harmonies and striking lyrics. It's a familiar sound, but with so much more to give. I had a look online to try to see what that vinyl might look like, and a lot of it looks sort of like, almost like red and black kind of smoke, red and orangey black smoke, okay? Whatever was on the cutting room floor. This is Ultravox Rage in Eden 40th anniversary reissue. It's on Chrysalis, one of the best albums of the 80s. Billy Curie's keyboards are genius. His violin fits in perfectly. The rhythm section is totally in the pocket, as they say. Midyear's guitar counterpoints the keys, and his lyrics have a bit more meaning than a lot of the synth pop that was around this time. I think it still holds up pretty well. This is on 180 gram half-speed master, and then plus a bonus vinyl of single edits and B-sides. Now, there was just one of these out for RSD Black Friday. I don't know what the difference is other than where this is blue, it was kind of a maroon color. I don't know if maybe it was just the artwork was different. I'm not sure. All right, this is various artists. It's called The Picture of Heath, and this is also part of that Tone Poet series on Blue Note. Chet Baker and Art Pepper continued their fruitful collaboration with the 1956 Pacific Jazz album, Picture of Heath. It was originally released as Playboys. The sextet for the session was loaded with top talent from the West Coast jazz scene, including Phil Urso, Carl Perkins, Curtis Counts, and Lawrence Marable. Blue Note Tone Poet series again features all analog remastered 180 gram vinyl in deluxe gatefold packaging. And it says it's a mono LP, but you know what? I'm looking all over this, and normally when it's mono, somewhere on here it says so, and it doesn't. So I'm inclined to believe that these notes are not correct that I have here. So I would not really take that as gospel that this is mono. Okay, next up is a collection of these Suzanne Vega reissues, and this is the Close-Up series. And so you have Close-Up, this is volume 1, and it's called Love Songs. This is volume 2 called People and Places. This is volume 3 called States of Being, and volume 4, Songs of Family. So they're all on cooking vinyl, and this was back in 2010. Suzanne began re-recording and releasing songs from her extensive back catalog as the Close-Up series. And she thought her fans might like to hear the songs of her past kind of stripped down to their original productions and hear them in like an intimate setting, something more personal that felt like she was singing to them alone. During the recording process for these 4 albums, Suzanne also decided to rearrange the songs by theme so that people could rediscover them out of their original contexts. And that's why, you have love songs, People and Places, States of Being, and Songs of Family. Originally released over a decade ago, it's now available in these beautifully packaged and designed 180 gram heavyweight pieces of vinyl with inner sleeves containing full lyrics and foreword by Suzanne. Now, I don't know if that means she's done a foreword for every single one of these, or if it's the same foreword in each one on the inner sleeves. So that part I'm not sure of. All right, this is Robbie Williams' Life Through a Lens on Capitol. So beginning with the joyous Lazy Days, the album continually betrays overt influences from Oasis and other Britpop stars that were popular at the time. But, nevertheless, due to this, this has got great production value on it. And he's got, his irresistible personality, and the overall flavor of the outrageous, utterly enjoyable pop music. So to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Robbie Williams' multi-million selling solo debut album, Life Through a Lens, the original 12-song album here, it's available on what they're calling lens clear vinyl for the very first time. Okay, this one is Within Temptation, the Aftermath EP. And this is music on vinyl, which usually carries a hefty price tag, but it's an EP, so probably not that bad. Anyway, during the worldwide pandemic, when many bands were setting up live streams, the symphonic metal pioneers decided to go even further and presented a virtual reality show, The Aftermath. The spectacular, immersive, tech-driven event allowed them to perform in 4 different futuristic virtual worlds that interact with both the band and the music. So the set included both old and new material as they presented the single Shed My Skin for the first time during the live set and played a brand new version of Forsaken. So the Aftermath EP features 4 live tracks from that virtual reality show, including the single Forsaken and Shed My Skin, that features Rudy Schwarzer and Christoph Weiserek, both from the German post-hardcore band Annie's Okay. The Aftermath EP is available as a limited edition of 3,000 individually numbered copies on crystal clear colored vinyl. So Side B of this 12-inch contains an exclusive full-color print based on the show's artwork. I don't know what that means, because being an EP, 4 songs, okay, that could all be on one side, but it's on crystal clear vinyl, so how could it contain an exclusive full-color print on the B side? I don't know. I'm not sure what that's all about, but anyway, that's how they've described it for us. If anyone buys it, tell us. All right, this is Neil Young, the Harvest 5 LP box set on reprise, the 50th anniversary deluxe edition of this. It includes the original album remastered, 3 Harvest outtakes on a 7-inch single. 2 were previously unreleased versions, and the 1971 unreleased BBC concert on LP and DVD, and Harvest Time, a 2-hour unreleased film from 1971 on DVD, a 48-page a 48-page hardbound book, and a numbered lithograph poster. I don't know about these sometimes, you guys. DVDs in here. Does anybody able to play DVDs anymore? Like, where do you see DVDs anymore? I guess they're probably still selling DVD players. I mean, I don't know. Since everybody streams everything now, I don't know how you do that. All right, this is Yuna. It's a self-titled album, and it's on the Fader label. Yuna is a self-titled international debut album from the Malaysian singer-songwriter Yuna. Released by a Fader label in April of 2012, it was her first ever U.S. release and featured 3 Pharrell Williams-produced tracks. The Williams-produced lead single, Live Your Life, reached number 37 on Billboard's Heat Seekers chart, and the album itself peaked at number 19. So 2022 marked the 10-year anniversary of the project, which includes other fan favorites like Lullabies, Decorate, and more. Okay, so there you go. Now, just to mention, when you see the list below, I think there's like another 3 or 4, King Gizzard, once again, reissued, repackaged. I don't know. I've reached my limit, you guys. It's like, if it's going to cause me stress, I ain't doing it. It's just a no for me now. Every single week we got something else, and they have reached the point with me where they're asking me to invest too much in them now. So Mike from Mike's Got the Spins, I know we love King Giz, we really do, but they're just pushing the envelope too far these days. So anyway, you can see the information down below. And you'll see a few other things that we just didn't get to, but we're reaching the 40-minute mark here. It's time to go. And I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope there's something in here that piques your interest and you might be interested in checking out. We here at Siren are open 7 days a week from 10 till 4. And, you're welcome to come on down and our lovely staff help you with your Christmas shopping or anything else in between. We have gift certificates now too in denominations of 100, 50, 20, and 10. So yeah, come on in and we'd love to see you. So until next week, I know the next week is supposed to be a better week for new releases. So yeah, we'll have a good one there. So I'll see you then. Bye.